Hello everybody and welcome along to this MSFS flyer video. My name's Alex, welcome along. This is the first video I've done, so do bear with me. I'm still going to be trialling a few things, and you join me in this EasyJet Europe at 15,000 feet on our descent into Toulouse, flying on real ops today. We're flying from Lyon into Toulouse. And you're just going to join me as we go through some of the descent procedures on this Airbus A320 as we fly into Toulouse today. So as you can see, currently descending through 13,000 feet for flight level 060. We're currently above the descent path, but we're going to be happily catching that back up with the speed brakes out, and also we're within our speed profile as well. I'll just retract those speed brakes now as we approach our descent path. That will also slow us down, so there's no worries there. So I'm going to turn on the seatbelt signs. So one of the standard operations of EasyJet is switching on the seatbelt signs. They actually announced this to the cabin crew by saying, "Cabin crew, please prepare the cabin for landing." And then we'll switch the seatbelts on just like this. What I'm also going to do for you here on this Fenix Airbus A320, now I'm going to input some of our arrival information. So I'm just going to refresh the METAR like that there, and as you can see we've got our METAR there. So decoded, this observation was taken on the 7th of February at 16:30 Zulu. It's an automatic, so that means there's not actually a human there observing. It's an automatic weather station that's taking the weather readings, so do take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt, but hopefully air traffic control will intervene if something's completely wrong. So the wind currently is 120 at 16 knots. The visibility is 10 kilometers or more. We're overcast at 2,900 feet, so around 3,000 feet, and we're 8 degrees with the QNH 1027. You might have noticed over Europe we've had quite a big high pressure, characterised by that with low cloud and fog in the UK. So we have wind 120 at 16 knots. Put that onto here, onto the performance page. We also had a temperature of 8 degrees and the QNH was 1027. We'll input that there, and we'll put the standard minimums of 200 feet into the box there, into the radio box. As you can see, we've got the transition level of flight level 050, so that's when we changed the bioreference from standard up here to the QNH of 1027. Now the eagle-eyed of you may have noticed we've passed through flight level 100 or 10,000 feet. So that means we're going to do our 10,000 feet checks. We're going to put our landing lights on, our takeoff nose light on, and our runway turn-off lights on. That's more just for me when I get onto the ground to know that they're already on. I know some airlines do and some airlines don't. It just makes it easier for me doing the procedures when I land. I'm also going to reduce our altitude on the MCP down to 4,000 feet. And reduce our range on the navigation display down to 20 miles. Further to this, I'm going to put our auto brakes onto low, and yeah, prepare for the landing now down into Toulouse. I'll catch you in about 5 minutes time. So here we are then. Heading through 5,500 feet, we're approaching our baro reference altitude where we're going to change the baro reference to 1027 across all areas of the aircraft. I'm now going to manually bug the speed, so I want 230 knots. As we approach the ILS, I'm also going to switch on both primary flight displays for their corresponding ILS frequencies. Here comes the diamond, the pink diamond, indicating that we are going to be on path when we reach 4,000 feet for the turn for the ILS. As we go through that box then, the diamond box, I'm going to switch localizer on. That means that we're going to automatically capture the localizer now, and we can see that here on our primary flight display, which is displaying localizer star. So now that's displaying localizer star, going to press the approach button and select autopilot 2. So that means now we're in a Cat 3 dual ILS approach to runway 14 right in Toulouse. Do ignore some of the weather bugs. As some of you may have seen on the Microsoft Flight Sim forums, there have been some issues with that. So we've now captured the glide slope. We have glide slope star, localizer star. So we're not fully captured on the glide slope, nor are we fully captured on the localizer. The star will disappear when we're fully captured on both. But now that we're on the glide and on the localizer, I'll put flaps 1 down and I'll select a speed of 195 knots as we come down on our descent path for runway 14 right. Just double checking everything is okay. And there we go, we've got runway in sight there. We'll keep the speed coming down then, down to 180 knots now. And we'll extend flaps 2 when we are safe to do so.
2,500.
It's 2,500 feet above ground. Call out there, so 2,500 feet, that's checked. We'll put flaps 2 now. And we were a little bit delayed departing Lyon earlier, so I'm going to have a high-speed approach, so I'll probably put the gear down around 1,500 feet and fully configure us at about 1,200 feet. As long as we're fully configured by 1,000 feet, I don't think it matters too much. Double check the winds, so we've got 130 at 16 expected, so we're probably going to have a little bit of a crosswind, but not too much. We'll also arm the spoilers and reduce our speed now to 160 knots. We'll double check what our VREF speed is. It's 135 knots. That can also be found by looking at the performance page, and it's there, VAPP, the virtual approach performance speed. It's now approaching 1,500 feet. I'm going to take manual control of the aircraft. Also going to put gear down. And we'll go flaps 3. The nose will dip, that's just a feature of the A320 and the Airbus aircraft, just with the extra lift that's gained from the flaps. We'll also reduce our speed now to that VREF of 135 knots, and we'll also put flaps full, and that's us now fully configured for landing. So now we're just watching that descent profile, making sure that we stay on the glide path and also on the localizer. We're keeping an eye on the green cross on the primary flight display right in front of us and keeping the little box in the middle of that cross as much as possible. I'm hoping that this wind dies off as we get closer to the ground. You can hear and see it's a little bit gusty out there, but not too much. Okay, we'll correct that altitude. There we go. 2 reds, 2 whites are back. A little bit to the left of the localizer. We'll correct that. Some movements.
500.
It's 500 feet. Checked. We are stable, contrary to popular belief from this wind.
Hundred above.
We're just watching that descent now, making sure we stay 2 reds, 2 whites. We are a little high.
Minimum. $100.
Okay, remind a little bit of right rudder here on landing.
50, 40,
just
30,
to keep us centered.
20,
There we go,
retard.
a little bit of right rudder. And we're down. Spoilers. Reverse the screen. And decel. There we go, we can take the auto brakes off now. And we'll just let her roll out. That was alright, considering the winds on approach. Pretty happy with that. You can see the Airbus factory and hangars over to our right there. And we'll take this exit here. And we shall start to clean up the aircraft. So we'll start off by retracting the spoilers. We'll turn the predictive wind shear off. We'll also turn the TCAS off as well and retract the flaps. We'll stop the chrono, turn off the ILS. We'll keep the strobes on just because we're crossing runway 14 left, but we can turn off the landing lights and put our nose wheel light back onto taxi. We can also start up our auxiliary power unit, the APU, just to make sure that we actually have power when we switch off the engines when we arrive on stand in just a couple of minutes' time. I'm using FSLTL Traffic as well here at Toulouse, and I'm hoping that there is a stand available for us. Otherwise, I may have to turn down my settings on FSLTL. You know what? I think I'm going to park next to this Volatea aircraft just here. I believe the real world flight actually parked just there in front of us this morning, so not too far away. But yeah, we'll just keep it rolling in now. No marshal or anything, so we've got to sort of judge where I think the stop will be. I think it'll be about there. So we'll put the parking brake on, we'll shut engine 2 down, we'll just wait for the APU to become fully available. It is now at 100%, so we'll turn engine 1 off and we'll stick the APU bleed off. Once that left engine is fully off, we can then turn the beacon off. Seatbelt signs can come off as well, and cabin crew doors to manual, cross-check and report. We'll see the slides disarm as the cabin crew do their duties. And yeah, that's about it. We'll stop the chrono on the right side, just because we've switched our engines off now. And as you can see, 45 minutes there on the clock, and 39 minutes and 15 seconds airborne from Lyon all the way into Toulouse. Thanks for watching.